Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
It's a pleasant morning out there. Temperatures are in the low to mid 60s. It is going to be a hot week ahead, but I'll show you when we may have some showers and storms to cool us off a bit.
And this is the aftermath of a mobile home that killed 2 men in Moore County. Coming up, what we know about this investigation.
Breaking news in downtown Raleigh, where dozens of residents were forced out of the Sir Walter apartment building overnight, all because of a fire. Coming up, how residents say it was extremely hard to breathe while they were trying to evacuate.
And pro-Palestinian demonstrators camped out on UNC's campus, where you were looking live this morning. The action students want to see before they move out. We have a lot to tell you about on your Monday morning. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. I'm Michelle McConaughey.
And I'm Chris Lovingate. We'll be getting to those stories in just a bit. But first, we got to get you started as you're headed out the door with meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Some people already hitting the links this early in the morning, Elizabeth.
Yeah, take a look. Hey, and why not? Temperatures feel great out there. Right now, we're in the 60s. Look at that, 64. We're starting to see our temperatures creep up some now as we get into the 8 o'clock hour. A southwest wind at 8 miles per hour keeps pushing the warm temperatures into our region. Still holding on to 58 in Clinton, but 65 in Rocky Mount and in South Hill, and 63 right now in Southern Pines. Hour by hour, we'll hit 78 by lunchtime and mid 80s for highs this afternoon. As a matter of fact, we hit the 80s by 1 o'clock, and we'll stay there all the way up until around 8 o'clock this evening. Today stays dry, but we do have a better chance of some showers and thunderstorms for midweek and again over the weekend. I'll show you the possibilities coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, all new here, the 8 o'clock hour. We had a couple of crashes that just popped onto our sensors right now. This one is happening on the I-40-440 split right there around the Lake Wheeler Road area. It just popped up in the last few minutes or so. Right now, it's not causing any major backups per se, but you might want to be mindful of that. Might see some police activity in that area as well. The other one that's happening on Gorman Street in the southbound lane, that's near Western Boulevard, not far from the studios here on Capitol and in Western Boulevard. But right now, again, it's not causing any major problems on Gorman Street and Western Boulevard as well, but we'll keep monitoring that. This is another troubled spot here. This is actually caused by a disabled vehicle up around Glenwood Avenue near the Briar Creek area. If you want to avoid it, you can also take Briar Creek over to Page Road, and that'll get you back on track to I-40 or the Beltline, wherever you're headed this morning. Of course, traffic happens at any time. We'll keep you updated here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
All right, thanks, Ken. We are following some breaking news near Carthage in Moore County. A mobile home fire there killed 2 men, according to investigators. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live on Union Church Road, where this all happened. Kelsey, so sad, the home destroyed. Michelle, this is what's left of that home. Investigators are still working here more than 8 hours later. We'll give you a look now from Sky 5 to give you a better look at what's left of this home. So you can see the mobile home is a total loss. The fire happened just after midnight. A person saw the flames and called 911, according to fire officials. We're working to get an update on what caused this fire. We're also asking if there's any information about the 2 men who died. So we'll be sure to keep you posted on what we can find. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Moore County.
Dozens of people are back in their homes hours after a fire at an apartment building in downtown Raleigh. Brett Neese was there in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker for the aftermath.
An incredibly scary wake-up call for dozens of residents here at the Sir Walter apartment building on Fayetteville Street. A lot of them tell me that it was extremely hard to breathe because of the smoke as they tried to get out of this building. Take a look. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker showing you what the scene looked like. The fire broke out around 1:40 in the morning. Officials tell me they were able to put it out in about 20 minutes. I spoke with Scotty Johnson. She lives on the 7th floor, and that's where this fire broke out. She says this is one of the most frightening nights of her life.
Well, the alarm started going off. My dog came running into my room because he was scared. So I looked out the door, and when I looked out the door, my hall was covered with smoke. I grabbed my backpack, my dog, and came down the stairs.
Johnson's mother lives on the 8th floor. She tells me it was a while before they were finally reunited. One person was taken to the hospital with burn injuries. I'm working to get an update on their condition. In Raleigh, Brett Neese, WRAL News.
And right now on UNC Chapel Hill's campus, students are protesting in support of Palestine. There is an encampment of tents on the main quad there. WRAL's Laura Levine is live on campus this morning. Laura, students actually put these tents back up last night after the school told them to leave.
Yeah, Chris, good morning. These students have spent the night here in tents and sleeping bags, even air mattresses here on the grass behind me, though. You can see a group of them gathering as some students are beginning to wake up, get some breakfast. They have tables here set out, so you can tell they are prepared to camp out as long as they can. A student set the tents up again last night after university officials told them to take them down back on Friday. The UNC Students for Justice for Palestine, the group organizing the protest and encampment, told us university officials said they would do a sweep, but did not specify when they would do it or who would do it. The students say they are calling for a ceasefire and the end of U.S. aid to Israel. They're also calling on the school to disclose investments to Israel and to end funding to companies tied to Israel.
Is not some like silly thing of students just being like, oh, you know, whatever, that I think sometimes we get painted as. This is a very serious movement of people banding together to end a horrific atrocity.
These students say they plan to stay here on campus protesting until the university takes action. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Chapel Hill.
More than 500 people are expected to rally around St. Augustine's University today. This is for what's being called a Love, Hope, and Unity Walk. Groups are working to uplift the St. Aug's community because it's dealing with severe financial troubles. There's also the battle the university is engaged in regarding its accreditation. Organizers want to bring awareness to these issues, but also draw attention to the university's legacy and what it means to the community.
In our 157-year history, the first time you will see Falcons coming together to save our universities.
It definitely makes my heart smile to know that the community and supporters and friends of St. Augustine's University are out there.
And the rally begins at 10 o'clock this morning. It ends at 1 p.m. And people who attend are encouraged to wear blue and white.
Today, the state's electronic court filing system, e-courts, will expand to 10 more counties. The North Carolina Judicial Branch says after that happens, nearly half of the state's population will live in places served by e-courts. Durham, Orange, Chatham, Franklin, Person, Granville, Vance, and Warren counties are included in today's expansion. 11 more counties are set to join that program in the fall.
After being closed this weekend, the NC-42 bridge over I-40 will reopen this morning. Drivers will now encounter a diverging diamond interchange. That traffic pattern allows two directions of traffic to cross temporarily to the left side of the road. Planners say it moves heavy traffic through an intersection more efficiently.
From a small plane crash that came very close to homes in the neighborhood. An expert gives feedback on the decision the pilot made during the emergency.
Plus, football players' uniforms may soon look a little bit different. The NFL's latest move to help players avoid those head injuries.
And it's a hot week ahead. Look at this, 80 degrees for the highs all the way into the weekend. We do have a few chances for showers and thunderstorms, though, this week. I'll show you when it's most likely coming up.
Welcome back on your Monday morning. It's Monday, but this view should make things a little bit better. You're looking live at White Lake. You're watching WRAL News, available on Hulu and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device. A really good day to get out on any sort of lake, Elizabeth. It's going to feel beautiful out there.
And you know, some of the schools are out today. So, hey, you know, maybe if you're off with your kids, I mean, the water's still on the chilly side, but the temperatures are going to be great. Goldsboro looking pretty this morning. So is Apex and Chapel Hill, completely clear. Same thing there in Fayetteville at our newsroom. Chapel Hill, of course, courtesy of Top of the Hill restaurant. We do have some showers and thunderstorms back off to our west. And of course, we're going to see the potential for more severe storms down in the deep south over the next few hours. But as this arrives here, we are not looking at that potential for severe storms. Instead, it looks like it weakens after it crosses the mountains. Today, we're completely clear. So we're going to jump on ahead to tomorrow. At 5 o'clock, a few isolated showers or thunderstorms approach, but watch how that fizzles out pretty quickly once we get past sunset. So not very much rain on Tuesday, but instead we'll see the front lifting northward during the day on Wednesday, and up underneath that front as it lifts northward, we may have a better chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. So it's not out of the question that we would see some evening showers on Tuesday, but it just looks like our potential is pretty slim. Right now it's looking a little bit better for Wednesday afternoon. Currently, we are not under a level 1 or any level risk for severe storms either Tuesday or Wednesday. Thursday and Friday are both dry, and then Saturday and again Sunday, when we add that, it's another 6 days until then we'll have the potential again for some scattered showers and storms. Saturday morning, let's talk about our potential for rain over the weekend. Saturday morning is the Komen Race for the Cure, and we are proud sponsors of that event. Lena Tillett and Mike Mays will be out there emceeing the event. Right now, Saturday morning looks dry for everybody headed out to that, but by lunchtime, we may start to see some showers and thunderstorms continuing through the afternoon. This is a new run of the computer models. It shows the rain arriving a little bit faster than the previous run. And then on Sunday, you can see it lingers across the area. So it looks like that front just stalls over us and may bring us an even wetter day on Sunday. Now, we definitely could use the rain. All total over the weekend, this is a new look, a little bit higher rainfall totals for the Triangle at closer to an inch, more like a half an inch for Goldsboro and Rocky Mount, and potentially an inch in some of our western counties. So we could use the rain, but it's the weekend. That's just the way it goes. It looks like the hottest day this week will be Tuesday at 88. Most likely we won't hit that 90-degree mark. We still haven't hit 90 officially at RDU this year. It's coming eventually. Our temperatures over the weekend will be a little bit cooler with that chance of rain. Highs in the low 80s. Ken?
Elizabeth, we're seeing the usual congestion that we usually see this time of morning here on the WRAL Traffic Center, the westbound lanes right there on I-440 and I-40. But we are monitoring a couple of crashes that just popped onto our sensors just in the last 10, 15 minutes or so. This one happened on Gorman Street in the southbound lane near Western Boulevard. It's not causing any delays in that area, but you might see some police activity in that area as well. Another one that happened in Hillsborough Street in the eastbound lane near St. Mary Street. Of course, if you're coming into downtown and you use Hillsborough Street or St. Mary's, you might want to be mindful of that. But again, we're not picking up any major backups, just some brake tapping that's going on right there, right now on that area. I want to take you live outside at 885 and TW Alexander Drive. Traffic is beginning to pick up, and you expect that this time of the morning, but we'll keep monitoring it. If you're getting ready to head out, you can listen to us on WRAL News Plus on the radio, 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
Jeff Hogan in the WRAL Live Center. I got some brand new information just coming in right now. Scotland's leader has resigned after a year in power. This throws that party into a bit of chaos here. Just take a look. This is Humza Yousaf. He resigned this morning, and it throws the ruling pro-independence party in Scotland there into some chaos. His coalition government fell apart unexpectedly last week. He dramatically tore up an agreement with opposition party lawmakers. It was a bold and risky move that backfired, because the opposition Green Party then said that they would vote against him, no confidence vote against him when they came to that point. And realizing what had happened there, the ruling party will now have to hold a leadership candidate vote. That's the Scottish National Party on who to replace him now.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Starting today, a new hotline will help people who were formerly incarcerated get resources they need to get back on their feet. It's called the Recidivism Reduction Call Center. Advocate Kerwin Pittman created this first of its kind hotline in the state. It'll be staffed Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And the goal is to help folks re-entering society get jobs, find living arrangements, and get resources to become productive members of society. Pittman says this hotline was funded by donations and grants.
Hand in hand with Second Chance Month, particularly this month in April. And so we want to make sure we highlight second chance years, right? Not just months. And so this hotline will hopefully be around for years and will evolve into something that we have never imagined before.
So cool. The hotline launches today. You can see the number on your screen there, 1-888-852-0004.
A lot of people looking to get a second chance. WRAL is trying to find out the identity of the man killed in a shooting in Durham. Police responded to the corner of West Morgan Street and Watts Street. That was around 2 o'clock yesterday morning. They found a man on the ground with a gunshot wound, and he was taken to a hospital where he died. At last check, investigators have not announced any arrests. And police say that a man named Scotty Jeffries is in jail this morning, charged with murdering a woman during a domestic violence assault. Rocky Mount police officers were called to a home on Marigold Street early yesterday morning, and that is where they found an unconscious woman. First responders pronounced her dead when they arrived. Jeffries is being held in the Edgecombe County Jail with no bond.
State Highway Patrol is investigating a crash involving a moped. It happened on US 421, 1 mile north of Clinton, Sunday afternoon. Investigators have not shared many details. Video from the WRAL breaking news tracker at the scene shows a moped overturned on the shoulder of the road there and a car with extensive damage to its windshield. A trooper on scene says the family of the moped driver took him to the hospital.
Rocky Mount police are looking for this man you see on your screen here. They say he robbed an 83-year-old woman Friday afternoon. Investigators say that happened at a PNC Bank ATM on Benvenue Road. The 83-year-old victim was treated for minor injuries. And if you have any information on this person, Rocky Mount police ask that you give them a call.
Students in Gaza are showing their appreciation for protesters on college campuses here in the U.S. Gaza students gathered around makeshift tents near a school that now serves as a shelter, and they spray painted messages of thanks to American protesters on those tents. They also held up signs showing their gratitude. One of the students told CNN that she was set to graduate from college this year, but her school was bombed.
Adding to the suffering that we witness every single day, we have to also work on finding maybe a way or anything to continue our future, to not lose what we learned.
And according to the UN, there have been direct hits on more than 200 schools in Gaza since Israel's bombardment began.
Here, stateside presidential candidate Jill Stein was arrested at a pro-Palestinian rally over the weekend. She was at Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri. Stein's campaign manager and deputy campaign manager were also arrested. Students set up an encampment and said they would not leave until Washington University divested from Boeing. They also want the school to boycott Israeli academic institutions. Stein says that she supports the students and their recent encampment.
New this morning, a pilot is in the hospital after a small plane crashed just feet away from homes in a Southern California neighborhood. The single-engine aircraft was forced to make a crash landing in El Cajon after reporting a fuel leak. No homes were hit, but power lines were damaged, causing over 1,000 people in that area to lose power. One pilot who was in the area, they heard the distress call, and they say the pilot did what he was trained to do.
You're training, you're taught when you have that you land as soon as possible, and landing as soon as possible doesn't necessarily just mean on a runway. It means exactly what this person did today. It means landing on a road, landing wherever is possible.
And the pilot was the only one on board that plane. The FAA is investigating.
NFL players now have the option to wear the Guardian caps in regular season games. These are the specially designed helmets meant to further protect against head injuries. As George Solis reports, the helmets were approved to use in practices 2 years ago.
The NFL now taking perhaps its most visual and polarizing steps in drastically improving player safety. The league now expanding the use of these admittedly far from fashion-forward softshell helmets. Athletes now given the option to wear Guardian caps beyond practice to regular season games, engineered to enhance protection against head injuries by as much as 20%, according to league data. The league cementing their stance.
If you're going to take a punch from Mike Tyson straight to the face, would you rather put a pillow over your face or take it straight on?
The NFL introduced Guardian caps during training camps in 2022.
We saw the Guardian cap this year. The Guardian cap again had a 50% reduction in concussions for the players who wore it in training camp.
NBC News on the field then with Washington Commanders offensive lineman Sadiq Charles.
At first, I wasn't sure what to think about it, but I'm always open to change.
A year later, the NFL mandating their use during practices for most players.
We've seen players sacrifice looking cool to be safe in the past, and so when you talk about CTE and helping avoid some of those things that affect you later on in life, I think if they're able to prove that it does reduce that, then players will get on board with it.
Even now, reaction to the beehive-shaped coverings has been mixed. One player writing, "This is the craziest thing ever." And it's not just the pros. Some high schools have been using them for years.
When we first started wearing them, I had coaches coming up to me making fun of us.
Livonia Churchill's high school's football team in Michigan has been sporting caps during practices since 2017.
I think we've been a pioneer of player safety at our school, and we're going to continue pushing that envelope for sure.
But will Guardian caps take the field or fumble as the NFL continues to tackle player safety?
That was George Solis reporting. Parents want to tell you about this. Thousands of Mario Kart toys are being recalled because of the risk of crashing. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says more than 17,000 of these ride-on racers are linked to the recall. The agency says the toy's acceleration pedal can get clogged with debris, and that makes it stick and could cause crashes. There have been 15 reported crashes with one minor injury, and you can check out the CPSC website for more information on this recall.
A teen in Colorado has a sheriff's deputy to thank for helping him look his best on prom night. The teen went to the local sheriff's office when he was having trouble tying his tie. A deputy was able to give him the help he needed and sent him on his way looking dapper for the big night. I love that.
Yeah, good on him. Pro-Palestinian protesters spent another night in tents on UNC Chapel Hill's main quad. Their reasons for setting an encampment back up after being told to leave.
Plus, the big game could have a new date. The changes the NFL commissioner is considering to make Super Bowl Sunday part of a 3-day weekend.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio in Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Beautiful Monday and still a really beautiful week ahead. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner taking a look over Sanford. Mild out there and sunny.
It feels nice. Temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 60s right now. Our humidity is nice and low. That dew point number is looking comfortable. Sanford looking so pretty there with sunny skies, not even a cloud in the sky. And check out these temperatures. 63 in Fayetteville, 66 in South Hill, 63 in Goldsboro. We will climb by lunchtime up to almost 80. And then we're going to have hours in the 80s this afternoon. We'll top out at around 85. We don't drop out of the 80s until around 8 o'clock tonight. We do have a chance for some scattered showers a little later in the week. May help to cool things down a bit. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, all new here in the WRAL Traffic Center. This just popped up onto our traffic sensors a little while ago. This crash on the Durham Chapel Hill Boulevard in the westbound lanes is causing a lot of backup right now. If you want to avoid that area, you can actually get off on Garrett Road and hop around to University Boulevard. That'll get you around this traffic mess and get you back on track. Elsewhere in the triangle, we're just seeing the usual morning delays with the congestion on I-40, on 440 there in the westbound lanes. But we'll keep monitoring this for any developments here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
All right, thanks, Ken. Pro-Palestinian demonstrators spent the night in an encampment on UNC's campus. The demonstrators are urging the university to stop funding companies connected to Israel. Earlier this morning, police arrived to check in on the tents, and the students say they plan to stay there until they see the university take action. Next on Fox 50, an update on an early morning mobile home fire that killed 2 people. And coming up next on Today, Anne Hathaway and Nicholas Gatzeline live in Studio 1A discussing their new movie, The Idea of You.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Our temperatures are warming up nicely, but it is going to be a hot week ahead. I'll show you some chances for showers and thunderstorms. It may help to cool us off a bit.
And WRAL is tracking the aftermaths of 2 fires, one in Moore County where 2 men were killed and another at a downtown Raleigh apartment complex with at least 1 injury.
And pro-Palestinian demonstrators are camped out on UNC's campus. The action students say they want to see before they move out.
We have plenty of stories that we'll be covering this morning on WRAL News, but thank you first for joining us here on Fox 50. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Hopefully your Monday is starting off nicely. It is Monday, but at least we have some nice weather for today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with a look over Warrenton. Wherever you look this morning, it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous here, and you're right, everywhere. We have blue skies all across the viewing area. Pretty start here in Warrenton. Temperatures across the region are mostly in the mid 60s right now. We do have a southwest wind at 8 miles per hour, and that southwesterly flow flow is helping to bring the warm air in, and it'll keep pushing in all week long. So it's going to stay well above normal all the way into the weekend. Our temperature 63 in Roxborough, 65 Rocky Mount, 63 in Southern Pines and in Fayetteville, mid 60s in the Triangle area right now as well. We climbed to 78 at lunchtime and to 85 for the high this afternoon. Now today will stay nice and dry, but starting tomorrow we're in a slightly wetter pattern Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we're watching the weekend for another chance for some showers and thunderstorms. We'll walk through the timeline coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, this just into the WRAL traffic center. We just got word that Raleigh police are working a crash scene near the downtown area at Hillsborough Street and Western Boulevard. We're going to keep monitoring that for any new developments. We also found out that Garner police are working a crash on Garner Road near Benson Road. Again, we're working to get more information on both crashes. We'll let you know exactly what's going on in about 10 minutes or so. Another crash that we've been monitoring here for the last 20 minutes. This one is in Durham, on Durham Chapel Hill Boulevard in the westbound lanes. You can see it's causing a lot of backup right there. And I'll tell you what, if you want to avoid this, you can actually get off on Garrett Road and pick up University Drive. That'll get you around this mess and get you back on track. But again, right here, we'll continue to monitor it. A couple of crashes we've been looking at for the last half hour now. This one in the Gorman Street near Western Boulevard, not causing any delays whatsoever. And this one on Hillsborough Street at St. Mary Street, again in the downtown area, not causing any major delays if you're heading toward the downtown area.
2 men were killed after a fire at a mobile home in Moore County. This happened on Union Church Road just outside Carthage. That's where we find WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live this morning. Kelsey, investigators are trying to learn exactly how this fire started.
Chris, they are, and investigators have been here on the scene for nearly 9 hours. We'll get you straight to video now from Sky 5 to give you a better look at the aftermath of this fire. You can see this mobile home is a total loss. The fire happened just after midnight, and a person saw the flames and called 911, according to fire officials. We're working to get an update on what caused this fire. We're also asking if there's any information about the 2 men who died, so we'll be sure to keep you updated as we find out more. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Moore County.
WRAL is following a breaking news story from overnight in Raleigh. People are back in their apartments after a fire in their building this morning. Brett Neese was there in the WRAL breaking news tracker as firefighters were on scene downtown.
An incredibly scary wake-up call for dozens of residents here at the Sir Walter apartment building on Fayetteville Street. A lot of them tell me that it was extremely hard to breathe because of the smoke as they tried to get out of this building. Take a look. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker showing you what the scene looked like. The fire broke out around 1:40 in the morning. Officials tell me they were able to put it out in about 20 minutes. I spoke with Scotty Johnson. She lives on the 7th floor, and that's where this fire broke out. She says this is one of the most frightening nights of her life.
Well, the alarm started going off. My dog came running into my room because he was scared. So I looked out the door, and when I looked out the door, my hall was covered with smoke. I grabbed my backpack, my dog, and came down the stairs.
Johnson's mother lives on the 8th floor. She tells me it was a while before they were finally reunited. One person was taken to the hospital with burn injuries. I'm working to get an update on their condition. In Raleigh, Brett Neese, WRAL News.
We are entering day 4 of students at UNC protesting, all in hopes that the university discloses investments to Israel and ends funding to companies tied to Israel. The students say they're also calling for a ceasefire and the end of U.S. aid to Israel as well. More than 24 tents are set up at the encampment at Polk Place this morning. Students have come and gone throughout the morning, arriving with their personal items in plastic bags, ready to camp out as long as they can. Students set the tents up again last night after university officials told them to take them down on Friday. University officials told Student Justice for Palestine, the group organizing the protest and encampment, that the school would do a sweep of the site, but did not specify who would do it or when.
Most moving part of it is that the people of Gaza have started to speak on it. And, we're getting messages from them that say, thank you to the American universities for standing up for this. And of course, ultimately, this is all about them.
And the students say they plan to stay there until they see the university take action.
And Michelle, hundreds of people were arrested or detained for protesting on campuses across the country over the weekend. In St. Louis, Missouri, 80 arrests were made at Washington University, and some of the people arrested have been released. On Saturday, the University of Southern California's Trojan statue was vandalized, and photos show police surrounding the campus there. At UCLA, there were dueling rallies where you had pro-Palestinian protesters calling for an end to the war in Gaza and protesters supporting Israel, saying that college protests have fueled hate speech. More than 500 people are expected to rally around St. Augustine's University today, and this is for what's being called a Love, Hope, and Unity Walk. Several groups are working to uplift the St. Aug's community. It's facing severe financial troubles and engaged in a battle over its accreditation. Organizers want to bring awareness to current issues by drawing attention to the university's legacy and what that means to the community. The rally begins at 10 o'clock this morning and ends at 1 p.m.
There will be an increased police presence at Enloe High School in Raleigh today. It's a precaution after a gun scare on Friday that turned out to be a false alarm. According to police radio traffic, a student was sent a photo of her boyfriend on the football field, and there were concerns that he may have been armed. That put the school on lockdown while police conducted a room-by-room search. Police never found a gun or the boyfriend.
New this morning, investigators are trying to figure out what caused a house fire in Cumberland County. This happened on Loop Road in Linden around 10 o'clock last night. The home is believed to be a complete loss. I mean, you can see it right there on your screen. One person was living in the home, but no one was hurt in the fire.
Today, Durham leaders will decide how to use more than $367,000 in opioid settlement funding. The county's public health department plans to use nearly $141,000 to create an opioid program manager position. It also plans to use more than $226,000 to fund a peer support program to help people who are struggling. And the county commission will talk about the plan during its meeting tonight at 7.
The Carolina Hurricanes will try again tomorrow night to close out their first-round playoff series. They'll host the New York Islanders for Game 5 at PNC Arena. The Canes led the series 3-1 after dropping Game 4 to New York in double overtime on Saturday. Now, if the Canes advance to the second round, we know now who they will play. The New York Rangers finished off a sweep of the Washington Capitals on Sunday, and so they now await the winner of the series between the Canes and the Islanders.
They're going to play my Rangers. This is going to be fun. All right, well, if you have a Ring doorbell camera, you could soon receive some money. There's security concerns that are prompting these payments.
And the number of people killed in flooding in Kenya, it just keeps rising. The rescue efforts happening now after heavy rain and a dam bursting.
And you are looking live over Wilson on this beautiful Monday morning. It's going to be in the 80s across the viewing area today. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will share when we're seeing those chances for some rain this week. Welcome back on your Monday morning. We're going to give you this beautiful look over Beaufort this morning. I mean, blue skies, a nice day to get out on the water. It's going to be gorgeous out there.
It is. I mean, weather-wise, it's definitely something you want to make sure you dress appropriately for. So, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, what exactly would you say is probably the best type of wear today? Maybe shorts because of the temperatures are going to be seeing?
Shorts and T-shirts. I mean, you know, some of us have to dress up. But, you know, I mean, this is kind of like shorts and a T-shirt, right? Fayetteville looking so pretty right now. Mostly clear skies. We're seeing this all across the viewing area. We've had southwest wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour for much of the morning, and that'll continue this afternoon too. That keeps pushing the warmth into the area, but it's not going to be terribly windy. Mid-60s in the Triangle. We climb to 80 degrees by 1 o'clock, and then after that, we're just going to hold it in the 80s all the way until around 7 or 8 o'clock this evening. Overnight last night and even yesterday, we did see a lot of strong to severe thunderstorms. We had tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings. As a matter of fact, we've had some video on our newscast from what happened with this this system as it came through Oklahoma, where unfortunately 5 people died. As it slides eastward toward our area, it will weaken, especially as it crosses the mountains, but it does bring us our next best chance for rain. We check out Futurecast. We're going to skip over today because it just looks beautiful. For tomorrow, starting at lunchtime, we begin to see the clouds thickening up and potentially a few scattered showers in our western counties right around the time of the evening commute. This is our brand new run of the computer model. It shows a little bit more rain, especially from Raleigh westward. So our western and central counties may see some showers and an isolated thunderstorm during the evening commute. The farther east you are, the less likely that is. Let's talk about Wednesday. Wednesday, this front lifts northward, and we have the potential for some scattered thunderstorms on Wednesday as that front lifts northward, maybe even a slightly better chance on Wednesday. Our winds this afternoon will be anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour, again, out of the southwest. Eventually, that southwesterly wind is going to push a little bit more moisture in, A, for some showers and thunderstorms, and B, it's going to feel a little bit stickier to us. We'll see some wind gusts later today, up to around 15 miles per hour, but today really feels great. Lunch outside today is green light for sure, 78 degrees, low humidity, plenty of sunshine, and not too windy really either. Around town, 85 in Raleigh and Durham, as well as Fayetteville for our highs this afternoon, and we're sitting at comfy for our muggy meter. But as we get toward the end of the week, we creep up to tolerable. I mean, we're not headed up to steamy or tropical, fortunately, but we will see that creeping up right to the edge of tolerable, and you might start to notice that. Of course, it stays very warm. Highs are in the 80s for the rest of the week. You see the yellow and orange color contours there indicating above normal temperatures. That stays with us all the way through Sunday. Our normal high is 76, and so of course you can see those 80s. 88 is likely to be the hottest day of the week. We may not hit that 90-degree mark even this week. We still haven't seen it officially at RDU. Again, late day showers and storms Tuesday and again Wednesday. Thursday and Friday are dry. The weekend is trending a little bit wetter. It may be that we're dry for the race. Of course, we are proud sponsors of the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure on Saturday. After that, it's looking on the wetter side, something we'll be following between now and then. Ken?
Elizabeth, we're getting new information about this crash that we told you about 10 minutes ago in the Garner area. It's happened on Garner Road in the eastbound lane near Benson Road. We're told that this is a serious crash with injuries. Right now, it's not causing any delays in that area, but you definitely want to watch for some police activity in that area. Another troubled spot we've been looking at this morning, Durham Chapel Hill Boulevard in the westbound lanes. This is causing some major delays in that area. If you want to get around this particular mess, you can actually get off on Garrett Road, hop onto University Boulevard. That will get you, University Drive, I should say, and that should get you back on track. You wouldn't have anything to worry about. A couple of crashes that Raleigh police are working in the last 20 minutes or so. This one in Gorman Street near Western Boulevard, not far from the studios, actually. It's not causing any delays in that area, but again, watch for some police activity. Similarly, Hillsborough Street and eastbound lanes near St. Mary Street, Raleigh police are working that crash as well. That's in the downtown area. That's part of your commute. Just be mindful of that this morning.
And I can take you out to a live look of the roads not here. This is right outside Houston, Texas right now. Our NBC affiliate providing these live pictures right now because they've had heavy rains and flooding in that area. I've been watching this for a while. I've seen some parts that you can't even drive through. Cars are flooded out there. But I-10 is where this is. Major interstate runs through the whole east and west through the whole state of Texas. This is what we're seeing at live look near Houston. But I want to take you back to some video from last night, overnight in Trinity, Texas. This is what it looked like where a tornado touchdown. At least that's what the local sheriff there said in Trinity, Texas, just north of Houston. You see that Blazer flipped over right there, that white vehicle, but severe storms there. This home was destroyed, knocked right off its foundation, as you can see there. 2 people were taken to the hospital out of Trinity, Texas. Their conditions are not known right now, but flooding has uprooted trees. You see that one just cracked in half there. But some amazing video here. Power is out to thousands of people in Texas.
Wow, some crazy images. Thanks, Jeff. Rocky Mount police are looking for the driver who got in a car crash and then hit a person while trying to leave that scene. It happened Saturday night at the intersection of US 64 Alternate West and Highway 64. Police say the pedestrian was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Investigators are still working to identify the driver who left the scene.
Chapel Hill native Keith Siegel is being held hostage right now by Hamas. The militant group released this video of him on Saturday. WRAL talked with his childhood friend, Alon Tao, about his reaction to this new video. Tao says he feels great relief that his friend is still alive, but he has fears over what will happen next. In the video, Siegel calls for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to negotiate a hostage release deal with Hamas. An Egyptian delegation also recently visited Israel as part of an effort to reach a deal.
Looks like this is going to be a critical week, and perhaps we'll find a way to bring him home and give him some semblance of a life after the nightmare that he has suffered.
Siegel's wife, Aviva, and their daughters are also put out a video asking for his release.
And Chris Siegel's niece, Hannah, also spoke after seeing that video.
I have faith that we can do a deal now, but I also think that if that isn't possible, then the Biden administration should think about what they can do directly to bring our American citizens home.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken will be in the Middle East today, along with foreign ministers from several other countries, as work continues to reach a ceasefire deal and hostage release.
World Central Kitchen says it plans to restart aid efforts in Gaza. Their work was paused when Israeli airstrikes killed 7 aid workers weeks ago. They have 200 trucks with supplies for 8 million meals ready to enter Gaza through the Rafah crossing in Jordan. The organization is also exploring new sea routes to get supplies to the region.
And an update now on the extreme flooding out of Kenya. Officials say 40 people have died in western Kenya after a dam collapsed there. It comes as the death toll in the country surpasses 100 due to flooding. This is an aerial view of that flooded river, the Tana River. The Red Cross there says 23 people were rescued after a boat capsized after heading to a village. More people are missing. The extreme flooding is causing schools to postpone their second terms, and nearby Tanzania and Burundi are also dealing with extreme flooding as well.
Tornadoes killed at least 4 people in southeastern Oklahoma. The National Weather Service says multiple large tornadoes touched down Saturday night. A 4-month-old baby was among the people who died. At least 100 others were hurt after the tornadoes flattened buildings and flipped cars. The state's governor issued a state of emergency in 12 counties there. And 2 adults, 2 kids, and 3 dogs are out of their home because of a fire in Fayetteville. This happened at a house on Pine Creek Court around 5:30 last night. Fire investigators say unattended cooking, that is what led to this fire. There were no injuries, but firefighters did rescue 1 dog from inside the house.
If you need a passport for an upcoming trip, there is a chance for you to get help with that. And today, the Passport Fair is happening today at the Wake County Commons building on Caria Drive in Raleigh. The fair runs from 9 this morning until 3:30, and you can find a list of documents to bring at wake.gov.
Some people who purchased a Ring doorbell camera can receive a refund, and that's part of a privacy settlement. The FTC says it'll send more than $5.6 million in refunds. The average settlement amount is expected to be about $48. Eligible customers will receive the payments through PayPal and will have 30 days to accept. The FTC accused Ring of allowing employees and contractors to access customer videos. The agency says Ring didn't add security precautions to prevent hackers from taking control of accounts, cameras, and videos too.
Well, what do you think about this? The Super Bowl may soon become part of a 3-day holiday weekend. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says he's considering pushing the game date back by a week, and that would put it on the Sunday night before President's Day. He says he'd also like to expand the regular season from 17 games to 18 games.
I think a lot of people would like that change.
I think so, too. So not everybody has off for President's Day, but a lot of people do. And I mean, you go to a late night Sunday game. It's the Super Bowl. You don't want to go to work the next day. You don't want to have to go to school.
Well, and this just builds it in, right? You already know where people are going to be doing the night before. So
right,
why
exactly.
even try to tempt your employees to lie about where they were the day before? That's what I'm
They're
saying.
not sick. They just went to a Super Bowl party the night before, really. So I think it's a good idea.
I think a lot of people like it.
Yeah. All right, well, Taylor Swift is topping the charts and reaching milestones.
Plus, a star-studded ceremony for an actress. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
I was supposed to be sent away, but they forgot to come and get me.
There's no holding back Taylor Swift or her fans. Swift's new album, The Tortured Poets Department, is #1 on the Billboard 200 albums chart, selling 2.61 million units in its first week. It's Swift's biggest first-week sales ever, nearly double her previous record set by last year's 1989 Taylor's version. She's the only artist ever with more than 1 million first-week sales for 7 different albums.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nicole Kidman.
Oscar winner Nicole Kidman has received the 49th American Film Institute Life Achievement Award. Kidman was honored at a star-studded ceremony for her award-winning career and her impact on the film industry. The event was held at the Dolby Theater in Hollywood, the home of the Academy Awards. The AFI ceremony is set to premiere on TNT June 17th and on Turner Classic Movies June 27th.
We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.